Capital News tonight. The government says it is determined to make Tanzania a transport and business hub. "105 households affected by heavy rains in Momba District, Songwe region have received 16 tons of food aid. And in sports, Tanzania Basketball Federation to implement a plan aimed at developing youth talents in basketball. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Carlos Banda. First, the national news. The President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, has said that the goal of the sixth phase government is to make Tanzania a transport and business hub and to make sure all projects being implemented are completed as planned. President Samia Suluhu Hassan made the statement at State House in Dar es Salaam after witnessing the signing of the second phase of the standard gauge railway project from Tabora to Kigoma with joint venture contractor CRCC and CECC company from China.
Tunawekeza kwenye SGR, lakini pia tunafufua na kukarabati reli za zamani ili kuziunganisha.
We're investing on SGR while renovating previous rails so that we connect our ports and all rails. Both ocean ports, Dar es Salaam, Tanga and Mtwara, as well as lake ports like Lake Victoria, Tanganyika and Nyasa, all needs to be connected with rail in order to simplify cargo transportation and get connected with neighboring countries like Uganda, Burundi, DRC, Zambia and Malawi. For those who say that this phase government has took many loans, is the phase that has constructed the whole rail. It would have been impossible to achieve the constructions by depending on domestic revenues. We are taking loans for sustainable developments.
Lakini kwa muda mfupi wa miaka miwili.
In short period of 2 years, you have managed to purchase necessary equipments for 4 remaining parts of Makutuporo to Tabora, Tabora to Isaka, Isaka to Mwanza, and Tabora to Kigoma, that totally have the length size of 1,380 kilometers.
The government, in collaboration with the National Food Reserve Agency (NFRA), have issued 16 tons of maize to 105 households that were affected by a heavy rainstorm a few days ago that caused destruction of houses and crops in Momba District, Songwe region.
Leo naishukuru serikali yetu. Kwa kweli nimeaziliwa na nyumba.
Today I thank our government. My house was unroofed and left with nothing. I depend much on people for survival.
Hivyo, sitarajii yeyote atakayepewa chakula hiki.
I don't expect anyone who has received this food selling the donations in streets. This donation is given out to allow you to focus on rebuilding your homes.
Kila kaya ipande miti 10. Hilo la kwanza. La pili, tunaelekezwa tujenge nyumba za kudumu, nyumba imara. Tuhakikishe tunajenga nyumba zetu imara ili tuepukane na matatizo kama haya ambayo yanatupata kila mwaka.
The government has said the exercise to move residents who have agreed to leave Ngorongoro National Park in Arusha region to Msomela village in Tanga region has adhered to human rights and good governance, and that if there are nations that want to assess the situation, they are welcome to do so. The statement was made in Dar es Salaam by the Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa at an occasion to receive 51 vehicles donated by the German government.
Yako mataifa yatakuja kujiridhisha. Waje tu. Waje. Tutawapeleka Loliondo, watapata nafasi ya kuzungumza na wananchi, watakwenda kuona maeneo yenyewe, tutawapeleka Ngorongoro, watakwenda kushuhudia hali ilivyo, watazungumza na waliobaki, tuwapeleke Msomera, wakutana na wananchi, waulize maswali wanayotaka wao. Hatuna mashaka katika hili. Tanzania na mpango wetu kwa namna tulivyotekeleza maagizo ya rais wetu Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, safi kabisa.
I'm very happy to be here to hand over these 51 cars to the government of Tanzania. My colleague Jennifer World from the KfW has explained that this is part of the emergency fund, which was to help after COVID hit Tanzania and the money from tourism wasn't coming anymore. I'm very happy that we contribute with these cars to the conservation and the efforts of the government of Tanzania. My government, and we have just had government negotiations back in Berlin in November, has reconfirmed that we want to continue to work in the sector of biodiversity with Tanzania. We're working in the sectors of health as well, and access to justice for girls and women as part of the work in the good governance sector.
Watalii wanazidi kufurika nchini, uhifadhi unaendelea, takwimu za watalii zinaenda juu zaidi, ikiwa ni pamoja na mapato. Kwa kweli makofi mengi sana sana kwa Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa Mheshimiwa Waziri Mkuu. Tunawashukuru sana.
Managers from the National Housing Corporation NHC have been called on to be creative and make sure implementation of the joint venture plan between the corporation and investors is done speedily in order to develop areas allocated for construction of houses and businesses so as to address the problem of housing shortage.
Kwamba hili zoezi natakiwa liende kwa nguvu kubwa sana.
This exercise must proceed with high speed because Tanzanians still have needs for residential apartments, offices, and for other commercial purposes. I continue calling on the managers to remain creative so that we attract investors in these areas.
Kwa mkoa wa Kilimanjaro tuna maeneo mengi ambapo kuna majengo machakavu.
In Kilimanjaro region, there are many old buildings which deserve to be demolished and developed again. Right now, we shall begin with 3 buildings, and later on, we shall continue convincing the management to add more buildings so that we could add value to our buildings and stimulate more investments. In Kilimanjaro region, in Moshi Municipal, there are many old buildings at prime areas.
Some residents and traders in Mwanza City have expressed concern on the return of petty traders to prohibited areas where they have started to sell goods displayed on the ground, a situation that is inconveniencing pedestrians as well as motorists.
Watu tukae kwenye masoko, tufanye biashara kwenye masoko. Tuache mabarabara. Barabara ni kwa ajili ya waenda kwa miguu na magari, si kwa ajili ya biashara. Mimi nashangazwa kabisa. Mtu anauza nyanya barabarani, anachukua nyama anauza barabarani, anachukua samaki anauza barabarani. Masoko yafikiwe na usafiri.
Lakini mfumo wangu mimi ni kwanza tutumie busara kuliko nguvu. Kwa hiyo maelekezo yangu hapa ni kwamba hawa viongozi wa machinga wote ambao kulikuwa na makubaliano ya msingi kuhusu matumizi ya isoko wakutane tena na serikali.
The former president of the fourth phase government, Dr. Jakaya Kikwete, has led hundreds of mourners, including envoys from various nations, at the burial of Tanzania's ambassador in Austria, Celestine Mushi, at Sambarai village in Moshi district, Kilimanjaro region. Ambassador Celestine died in a tragic car accident that had occurred on December 13th in Handeni district, Tanga region.
My condolences to the family for the passing of your loved one. I received this message with a great shock because he was very young. He was a smart, hard-working, and very patriotic and ready to serve the nation at any cost. To my fellow public workers present here, there are many things to learn from the late Ambassador Mushi. I call on you to emulate from his famous phrase, do a little more than others.
The Minister of State in the President's Office for Public Management and Good Governance, Jenista Mhagama, has directed the Prevention and Combating of Corruption Bureau (PCCB) to speed up monitoring and take action of corruption embezzlement of malpractices in various development projects, particularly at council level.
Nami kwa muktadha huo ninaendelea kuagiza TAKUKURU.
I am directing PCCB to continue following up on projects implementation and all programs that are ongoing in the country. Please cooperate with us.
Mafanikio katika mapambano dhidi ya rushwa yanabainishwa pia katika.
Successes in fights against corruption are revealed by international tests showing that we have made strides, like Transparency International Thorough Corruption Perception Index for 2021 shows that Tanzania has got 39 points and reached number 87 out of 180 countries that were researched on.
180 zilizofanyiwa utafiti.
The Media Center for Information and Research Advocacy, MESIRA, has commended conservation activities being implemented at water sources and Sao Hill Tree Estate in Mufindi District in Iringa region following a tour at the estate under the management of the Tanzania Forest Service, TFS.
Kwa namna pekee kwa kweli tunapaswa kuwasifu TFS na
TFS has done a tremendous job in preserving Sao Hill environment. We congratulate them for good job that they have done. Our call to our fellow Tanzanians is let's continue preserving environment. All these shortages from water to power rationing is because of human activities that destroy the environment. When we hear fertilizer and gas prices have gone up, we are highly affected more than farmers because shifting cultivation is very bad. 73% of forest destructions are caused by farming activities. We thank the government for giving out subsidies in fertilizer. That move will help much in issues of shifting cultivation.
And that is the end of the national news. We'll take a short break and return for international news. Glad to have you back, and now international news. Up to 100,000 members of the Royal College of Nursing RCN in England, Wales and Northern Ireland held a one-day stoppage on Tuesday after walking out last Thursday for the first time in the trade union's 106th history. They are demanding an inflation-busting pay increase to make up for the years of real terms salary cuts by the government, but the government insists recession-hit Britain cannot afford anything above a 4 to 5% rise. And moving on to Uganda, in Uganda, former Serere County Member of Parliament Patrick Okabe and his wife Christine Okabe have died following an accident along the Male-Tirinyi Road. Traffic Police spokesperson Farida Nampilima said the accident was caused by the speeding Isuzu truck when it veered off from its lane and rammed into the MP's Land Cruiser.
Msemaji wa polisi nchini Uganda ASP Farida Nampima amethibitisha kuwepo kwa ajali hii.
This involved vehicle number UBK 995F, a Toyota Land Cruiser, and a Isuzu box body number KCX 071K, killing on spot the occupant of the Land Cruiser, identified as Honorable Okabe Patrick, the Member of Parliament, Serere constituency, while his wife, Christine Okabe, died on the way to the hospital. Their driver of the Land Cruiser, identified as Jacob, sustained severe injuries and is in a critical condition, admitted at Mbare Referral Hospital. People have been spreading rumors that he's dead. He's not dead. He's still in the hospital in a critical condition. The cause of the crash has been attributed to the Isuzu box body driver who was speeding.
The UN Secretary General has warned of the threats posed by extreme right wings and white supremacist groups in the West in the wake of authorities in Germany uncovering a group that planned to launch a coup attempt. The UN chief said the case in Germany was just one example of the threat posed by extreme right wing to democratic societies around the world, and that it was necessary to fight the threat with great determination. And moving on to Kenya, the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA) in Kenya shows a 3% increase in road carnage as of 15th November this year, with fatalities standing at 4,432 compared to 4,271 during the same period last year. This was revealed at the launch of a countrywide crackdown on motorists and road users flouting traffic regulations aimed at reducing deaths and injuries during the festive season.
Tunajua kwamba kwa miaka zilizopita tumekuwa na ajali nyingi sana msimu wa Disemba na mwaka wa tunasema mwezi wa kwanza wa kufungua mwaka.
Tumehuzunishwa ya kwamba mwaka huu tumepoteza watu wengi, wale ambao wameaga dunia kupitia ajali za barabarani mwaka huu. Idadi ya zaidi ya watu 4,000 ambayo ni idadi kubwa sana katika miaka yote tangu Kenya ikuwe huru.
And that story sums up the international news. We'll take a short break and return for business. Glad to have you back, and now business news. The National Bank of Commerce (NBC) has listed its first NBC Trigger bond at the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange as it aims to raise 300 billion shillings that will go into funding small and medium projects in agriculture and other economic sectors.
Mwaka wa 22-23.
For the year 2020-2023, we were looking out to means of developing capital markets, especially in corporate bond.
Ambapo maombi 619, yani asilimia 96.9 yalikuwa ni wawekezaji binafsi, na maombi 20, yani asilimia 3.1 kwa taasisi mbalimbali za umma na binafsi.
Mikopo kwa kampuni ndogo ndogo na zakati inatekeleza wito wa serikali.
A study conducted by Mzumbe University has shown that small entrepreneurs in the informal sectors are not benefiting from social security funds due to various reasons, including an unconducive environment.
Kwa hiyo tumezungumza nao kiwaliza. Sasa hivi mapa nye ni mashahidi, meona hapa watu wa mabenki wamekuja wametoa ushuhuda, lakini tumeona kwamba vijana wengine kwa mfano wa bodaboda wameweza sasa kujitambua, wameanza sasa kwenda kununua, kutafuta mikopo, wanakopesheka sasa.
Lakini mifumo hii iliyopo si rafiki ya kuwamwezesha dereva bodaboda kwenda kupata huduma kwa haraka na kwa uhitaji alionao pale ambapo anahitaji.
Yani uwe ni utafiti wa taifa zima, na tupigie debe kila mtu pale alipo ajaribu kupigia debe kuhamasisha watu wajasiriamali wajiunge na bima za afya, wajiunge na pensheni.
NMB has entered into an agreement with the Ministry of Land, Housing and Settlement Development whereby, as from now, all the ministry's taxes will be paid through the bank.
Benki ya NMB itashirikiana na Wizara ya Ardhi katika kukusanya zile kodi zake.
Ningewaomba sana Watanzania tutumie fursa hii iliyobaki kwa muda mfupi hii ya msamaha, lakini baada ya msamaha shughuli zingine zitaendelea kama kawaida. Ulipaji kodi Januari inapofika unatakiwa mtu ulipe kodi yako, kwa sababu umeshachelewa Disemba utalipa pia na interest.
And that is the end of the business news. We'll take a short break and return for sports stories. Welcome back, and now sports news. Tanzania Basketball Federation TBF says it plans to create opportunities for 15-year-old girls and boys that will develop their talents in sports.
Very serious. Na lazima tuongeze kasi.
We are very serious and we must have strategies to execute our plans. So we can go parallel to that of FIBA, which is what they're expecting to reach. Another thing in the future is there will be a league, like an African basketball league, for women starting next year.
Kwa hiyo maandalizi hayo yameanza, kwa hiyo fursa kwa wanawake pia imeongezeka.
KMC have boasted of extending their winning streak when they meet Police Tanzania in their next NBC Premier League encounter.
Kwanza wako vizuri after all polisi na tulicheki mechi yao dhidi ya Yanga.
Police are a good team and we checked their last game against Yanga, which despite losing, their form is better than it was before. So we are not going to approach this next game as if Police are not in good form so we can win easily. No, we are not thinking the game will be easy since Police are in low positions. We are entering the match knowing it will be tough.
Lakini pamoja na ugumu huo, sisi kwa sababu tutakuwa nyumbani, lazima tuhakikishe kwamba pointi 3 zinasalia hapa nyumbani.
The Tanzania Netball Association Chaneta will open their 2023 activities with the Samia Cup, which will be coordinated by the National Sports Council.
Hivi ninavyoongea wanatakiwa kwenye mwezi wa kwanza au mwezi huu.
As we speak, they are required either this month or in January to organize the district competition so as to get special talents. I urge each region to bring their teams for stiff Tanzanian competition.
Tumeingia mwezi wa 5 mimi na makamu wa rais.
More than 10 women boxing bouts will be held to commemorate the International Women's Day marked on March 8th next year.
Tunataka kufanya hili jambo kuwaenzi wanawake pia.
We wish to do this thing to celebrate women as well as support our leader Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan for supporting women and to see the position of women in this thing. You will ask yourself, why a woman decided to organize this event? There are many promoters, but I, as a woman, as a mother, as a parent, decided to organize this competition to uplift women.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us and good night.
Watch Capital